Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is the place you can swoop on in and get caught up on some of the latest news that involves our Cleveland Browns. But on top of that, you also get a take attached to each of those news items along the way. We try to do it all in about 10, 12 minutes, sometimes 15, 16. It just depends what's going on. Please, if you can, like our previous episodes. And also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We are this close to 6,000 subscribers. We're almost there, folks. Phone the neighbors, wake the kids if you wouldn't mind. We're getting close to 6,000 subscribers. But I love the fact that many of you jump in the viewer comment section and make your voices heard. I love the healthy discussions that go on down there. Now, on today's show. All right. If the Browns decide to keep all four quarterbacks on the 53-man roster, something's got to give. We'll explain. Also, Shedeur Sanders made quite an impression on one Browns defender during mandatory minicamp. Andrew Berry also opening up about the quarterback competition. But I got to say, I really hope he means what he says. We'll get to that. And down in the viewer comments, someone has already declared there's a new sheriff in town. Or should I say there's a new sheriff in the quarterback room. So we'll get to that as well. Now, first things first. What if we keep all four quarterbacks? Which, at the moment, seems like the most logical plan, unless we can ship Kenny Pickett somewhere before then. But remember, the reason why this is not a crazy idea, keeping four quarterbacks, is because we did it last year. Remember, we had Deshaun Watson. We had Tyler Huntley. We had Dorian Thompson-Robinson, better known as DTR. And then we also had Jameis Winston. And now, if you believe what you heard, the plan was they were going to try and trade Winston. That's why I think we're in the same situation here with Kenny Pickett. They may be trying to set up a situation. The problem with Winston, nobody wanted him. I mean, if Winston was any good, he would have been somebody's franchise quarterback. He wouldn't have been on his third or fourth team, whatever he was. But I mean, nice guy and all, but I mean, just not a great quarterback. But here's the thing: last year we only kept two running backs. Remember, we had Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong Jr. We dumped Deontay Foreman and went with two running backs with the four quarterbacks. But this year, there is no way you're going to start this season with two running backs. Because the three running backs we have will be on the roster: Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson, and Jerome Ford. Ford, of course, took the pay cut to remain on this roster, to remain with this team. And then that, of course, is what sent Nick Chubb out of town. So there's no way you're going to start the season with only two running backs like you did last year. And so it's going to have to come from somewhere, folks. Something's got to give. What you want to do, keep one less offensive lineman, keep one less receiver, one less tight end. Can you start the season with two tight ends maybe? Not have a backup. So something's going to have to give at another position if we go this route with four quarterbacks. And remember, you have a 53-man roster, but only 48 dress on game days. So the numbers are crunched even more come Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays and every other day we play now in the NFL. But remember, in 2023, there was an NFL bylaw passed that said you can dress a 49th player as an emergency third quarterback if needed. But we won't need to worry about that because we're going to have four. So we're going to have quarterbacks all over the place. So just another thing to pay attention to as we get, as training camp gets going and cuts start being made. Where are they going to make moves if one of the quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett, isn't moved? So we'll have to wait and see. Now, mandatory minicamp is now done. OTAs coming up this week for the rookies. One last one behind closed doors. They'll work 3 days this week, and we won't get to see it, though. But Shedeur Sanders, a lot of people saying a lot of nice things about him, and he got the respect of one of the Browns defenders. Who is it? It's Greg Newsome. Greg Newsom says he's been incredible when he's talking about Shedeur and his game. He said, I'd say he's like a sponge. It's crazy that someone so young with so much notoriety can handle the media and things like that. I think his father really taught him how to be that person under the spotlight and understand what comes with it. And I think he's done an amazing job learning and improving every day. And so there you go, Greg Newsom. I mean, and this is what Shedeur does. It's not, that's the thing with Shedeur. It's not just, how's he doing on the field? He's got to handle all of the stuff off the field too. Not him personally. He doesn't have any off the field issues or anything like that. It's just everybody's always coming at him, man. You ever see Talladega Nights? Coming at you like, they're coming at you like it's just all the time. So anyway, it's just good to see. And this is what I mean. That this team really seems to be gelling. Everybody is supporting each other. It's good to see. And Greg Newsom providing his opinion on the way Shedeur is handling everything, and he has nothing but positive things to say. Now, another guy who was talking in the last couple of days, Andrew Berry. And I keep telling you, I've yet to find somebody who thinks that taking Dillon Gabriel in the third round was a great pick. I'm talking about, you listen to reporters, you listen to national pundits, you listen to Browns fans, anybody. I haven't found anybody yet who thinks that was a good idea. So, Andrew Berry talked with Yahoo Sports, and this is what he said when asked by Jory Epstein with Yahoo Sports. So I'm very impressed with her. She does a really good job. She does her homework, and she asked about, did you worry about drafting Sanders so soon after Gabriel? Would that undermine his third round pick? And Berry said, well, the reality of it all is everybody's got to compete. Everybody's got to earn their keep, so to speak. If you're in any position room and you're worried about a guy that's taken or signed that's out of your control, then you probably should. Then you probably don't have the mental wiring to be as competitive as you need to be for that spot. Now, what I say to that is this. He better mean what he says, because everybody keeps saying, Dillon Gabriel's going to be higher on the list than Shedeur because he was a third-round pick versus a fifth-round pick. Or, Kenny Pickett was the first guy they went out and got, so he's probably going to be the guy who starts. And this is the logic that's being used. But if you listen to Andrew Berry says, hey, may the best man win. And so he better mean what he says, and that better trickle down to the coaches, because if we got a guy that could win us games, and possibly get us to the playoffs, then that guy needs to be in there. And so we'll see, if Shedeur keeps doing what he's doing, and, you look at, some of those numbers from the mandatory minicamp, it remains to be seen. But I really hope Andrew Berry means that. If you're taking Shedeur, and you don't feel like you're undermining your third round pick because, hey, it's a competition and everybody needs to be in there to compete and win, then, all right, let's see it. That's what better happen during training camp. Now, one thing is this. We don't need a training camp for our viewer comments, because every one of you are in the starting lineup each and every single day, because that's how good they are. Now, we'll start today with Walter Bradley, 8734. He says, if Shedeur was playing like Gabriel, they'd be ripping him by saying this is why he was a fifth-round pick. Shedeur has no room for error, and they're waiting for him to slip up. Walter Bradley, I tend to agree with you. If this was, and I just like I say, if we had drafted Shedeur in the third round and Dillon Gabriel in the fifth round, everybody would be like, okay, whatever, But it goes even more under the microscope, because nobody can understand why we picked Gabriel in the third round, and we have Shedeur dropping to the fifth round, and he's right. I think if Shedeur was putting up numbers like Dillon Gabriel, all hell will be breaking loose. And so, Gabriel, he got the shot against the ones, Shedeur got the shot against the twos, but, I think there's a long way to go for Dillon Gabriel. That. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, Censor Ed TFS, more of a password than on a YouTube handle, says, the quarterback tracker list seems to indicate the most reps are going to the quarterbacks that need the most work. What's with those numbers? That's what he says. That's what those numbers indicate to me. I mean, I would imagine so. I mean, I guess they really want to see what they have with Gabriel, right? And so they're sticking him with the ones. And Shedeur, like we've said all along, whatever's in front of you, take it. And that's what Shedeur is doing. Dylan Gabriel, call it better competition, call it what you want, but he's completing like less than 50% of his passes. So is Kenny Pickett. So, but I'll just give him, I'll give him this. It's early on. And so we'll see. We'll see where it all ends up. Muscle Man oh boy, Muscle Man's back. Muscle Man 2025 says there's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Shedeur Sanders. So there you go. Muscle Man 2025 casting his vote. Thinks Shedeur. He's brought some things up in the comments. He thinks there's only one guy in the quarterback room. He thinks it's Shedeur. And so we'll see. Costa Thrasavulu 9975. This is a great take about our defense. We just talked about Greg Newsome, but he says if Denzel Ward can stay healthy and finish plays, he will be a top 3 cornerback in this league. And he may help our defense to be a top 5 defense in this league as long as we play how we are supposed to. And that's what I said. Remember, we talked about it yesterday, folks. The way this defense is coming together, and if Ward, that's the biggest thing with Ward, man. If he can stay healthy, I mean, he looks locked in. They all look dialed in. They're all flying around like a bunch of crazed dogs out there. I mean, and I'll tell you this much. Costa knows his stuff. The kid plays cornerback at Mount Union. So he knows his stuff when it comes to cornerbacks. And we're going to end on this. Zaka Hops. It's a great handle. At the end, did you say Watson is definitely not starting the season with the Browns? Okay, so I don't know exactly what I said and what show this was, but here's what I will tell you. Deshaun Watson will never, ever, ever play another down for the Cleveland Browns again. He's still with the team, but all we're waiting is for him to be declared out for the season so then they can put in the insurance claim and get the money back for this year. But unfortunately, we got to deal with this next year, too. Hopefully, he decides, or they figure something out, and they can get rid of him, and we don't have to worry about it. He's never taking another snap for the Cleveland Browns ever again. I just want you to know that. Because if he did, I've heard people say there might be riots in Cleveland if that happened. That's how, Jimmy Haslam has already said it was a big swing and a miss. Done. It's over. Deshaun Watson will never play for the Browns ever again. Okay, hey, big Father's Day show for you tomorrow. Can't wait. I'm excited. Found something really interesting about our rookie quarterbacks that you probably won't want to miss. I say probably because if you have stuff to do with Father's Day, I understand. I get it. But just saying, if you find some time, check it out tomorrow. All right, thanks so much for being with us. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.